Well, Coach, take us through the last sequence as you saw it. Their bucket, and then how you guys responded.
Well, we knew they were going to drive it. We knew either Anderson or Ziegler was going to drive it. It's hard to foul when the score's tied. And then the play that the freshmen made, because I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable to have that much smarts to Dax grab it, throw it in before they're which happens. You know, you make a shot like that and everybody wants to celebrate, and to be smart enough to grab it, and JC smart enough to, you know, to take off running down the floor, and then for JC to stand up there and make 2 free throws. They do some things sometimes that you think they are wise beyond their years, and then you do some things and you think they're back in the 8th grade, you know. So and that's kind of what it is when you play freshmen as much as we had to play them.
Talk about Holton's play tonight, what he was able to do.
Still out of foul trouble. Finally. He didn't rebound it the way we need him to rebound it, but I thought he played pretty well. Played a lot, which he hasn't played a bunch. Our pressure's so much better with him when we can pressure.
Devin said that took a lot of pressure off him as well, that having Holton down there helped free him up a little bit.
Yeah, it does. And particularly John scored the ball early, so they were keying on him. Dev was awful early, and then came back and played like a man the second half. Played the way that we all expect him to play.
How about Phillip and Page weren't out there?
It's coach's decision, Mitch.
But that was made before the game. You knew they weren't going to play.
Yeah, they knew they weren't going to play.
Did you hear the foul, or when did you realize that they called the foul?
I saw the foul call. Yeah.
Okay. Kind of an odd.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, we were due, weren't we?
Yeah, probably so.
They say those things even out. I mean, if that's the case, I should get every call for the next 12 years.
Staten with 12 assists today. Talk about him as a facilitator. He was talking about kind of having to balance his role between being a scorer and being the guy who sets everybody else up and walking that line.
I told Tony on a pregame show that I thought Wani would have a big game. He's back in the gym. I mean, it's not a secret, you know. You don't get in the gym, you don't make shots, and you get in the gym and you do make shots. And I thought the way he played in practice yesterday, the way he shot the ball today and shoot around, I thought, you know, he was going to come in and play with a lot of confidence, which he did.
Well, at the end of the game, when he drives to the basket, you're down 2, and he kicks the ball back to a freshman to make the three-pointer with 7 seconds to go or whatever it was. Does it tell you maybe a little bit about the growth of this team? That 10 games into the season, he probably would not have given the ball up to anyone in that situation.
I don't know, did we need 2 or 3?
You needed 2, that his 3 put you up by.
He's got a lot of confidence in those guys. I think he's got a lot of confidence in them. Gary's got a lot of confidence in them. Those 2 don't lack for confidence. And Dax hasn't made a lot of shots here lately. And he makes the shot to tie the game driving it, and he makes 2 threes, but he wasn't making any. He wasn't getting over the rim. But they, you know, honestly, Dave, they know. I mean, they try to BS everybody, but they know who's in the gym. They know just like I know who's in there, who's not in there.
Let me ask you this: if he hasn't been making shots lately, why did you decide to have him in the game at that point?
Didn't have anybody else really. We were at that point in time. We had to score and get some pressure, and I was hoping Wani could get it. I told him, drive it as far as you can drive it, and if you can't get to the rim, kick it back to somebody, and that's kind of what happened. But we had to get into pressure, and Chase is great. We put Chase in, and they really guard him. They chase him around. Everybody's talking, here he comes, you know. But he's not as good at pressure. In fairness to him, he hasn't had as many reps as what other people have either. So.
Well, going back to the fouls, 64 in this game.
Mm-hmm.
What can you say about that kind of officiating?
I can't say anything, Mitch. I get fined. But, I mean, I don't think you do, do you? They can't fine you.
No.
Okay. Good. You've written about less important things, from what I understand.
The play in the regulation with Dax, is that similar at all to the play that you ran with Missoula back in the day? Kind of the same situation?
The St. John's did.
St. John's game, yeah.
No, that was after a timeout.
Okay.
That was, the one, you talking about the one Dax to tie the game?
At the end of regulation, right?
Yeah, it was similar to that, but St. John's went 2-2-1, which I wasn't expecting a 2-2-1. Joe just dribbled through. Joe said he made the layup because his dad was sitting underneath the basket. If he had missed the layup, his dad would have knocked him out.
So you just want to get Dax moving?
I wanted to get the ball to Wani, really, but, it was one of those, take it as far as you can take it,
Right.
and if there's somebody ahead of you, throw him the ball, and Dax was ahead of him. I try to do that just so he can get his shoulders turned and headed at the rim.
Right.
I don't want, you have one guy take it out like that, and he comes running up on the ball, and you catch it facing their basket. I didn't want that. I want to throw it across so he could get his shoulders turned, and he was on the run. Much harder to guard.
Kids have dreams about winning games on last-second shots or making free throws or whatever it is. Have you outgrown basketball dreams, or?
I have dreams about it never having to happen again. How about that?
Real dreams of it, or like at night?
No, I did a dream about officiating today, though.
It was a nightmare.
Yeah, it was awful. It was just a dream about it.
Right.
Against the 2-3, it seems like you're getting the ball into the high post the way you want to attack it high-low, but just not getting the finishing results. What has to happen differently to finish what you're trying to achieve there?
Make some shots. We had shots. It's not like we didn't have shots. We had shots. We just got to make shots. You make shots, it looks like you run good offense. You don't make shots, it looks like you can't run offense. I mean, we got it close. Dev scored in the second half, looked a lot better than a lot of the second half looked like the same thing, same stuff. The only thing really that we did that I didn't practice was the three that JC made. The screen and slip. We ran that last year to tie the game at TCU. At Texas Tech. I mean, they weren't around. They didn't know. But I mean, that just tells you a little bit too. Two freshmen that and I ran it with those two involved. I didn't really have any choice, but I ran it for those two involved, and they understand. A lot of people wouldn't have a clue what you're talking about.
Earlier this year, I know you had to put Gary there, guards there a couple of times. Now you've got your bigger guys there, Jonathan there. Are they progressing the way that you want to passing the ball, making those decisions there?
No, but we're going to keep working at it. I don't lie. I mean, I can tell you everything's rosy and wonderful, but I'd be lying.
For those young guys, without putting too much weight on it, is this a season-changing opportunity for them, career-changing opportunity when they get in a situation like this, contribute the way they did?
Ask me Tuesday. I don't know. Season changing, I don't know. I mean, I guess if we win Tuesday and Saturday, I guess you could say, yeah. If we go to Kansas State and lay an egg, then I would tell you, no, it hadn't changed.
Bob, in regard to that last play, Dax doesn't usually take out a basket inbound, does he?
Normally, no.
No. So that was just him like jumping into the starting lineup at the beginning of the year too.
Yeah. He gave a little speech after the game. Said, I know I'm a freshman, I'm not supposed to talk, but it's about practice, you know. It's about embracing practice, embracing getting better.
Anything else?